And then, yeah, the knowledge obviously isn't established enough to the fact that I can maintain that knowledge in the forefront of my mind at all times. And I lose it. But like you said the other time, you know, we can't control the external circumstances.
Yeah.
And so it just comes down to, like you just said, you know, spending more time in the scriptures, associating with the Guru, with the teachings, with Ishvara. That's all we can do.
Yeah, we have certain vasanas, some certain tendencies, certain bits and pieces of ignorance. Sometimes I like to put it that way. Those bits and pieces of ignorance-based vasanas that sometimes it takes some time to unwind, you know, to go, and there is not much we can do about those, you know, those bits and pieces of ignorance-based vasanas. So, and they compromise our ability to be a bhakta. Bhakta is the one who enjoys or who receives the results of the field, and a receiver of our experience. We are a doer, a karta, when we put an action in the field, and we are bhakta when we receive the results from the field. So when we receive it, so depending on the degree of my mind, of purification or strength of my mind, you know, or spiritual power or strength, mental, emotional strength, let's say, is one of the important qualities. As a bhakta, is that every time that life sends us adversities is a test, because we can see as a bhakta how I'm doing here, you know, because sometimes I'm doing good actions. Not to say that as a bhakta, if I'm not a good receiver, if my reception is not good in the way that I have a certain immunity against adversity, when I receive, I freak out and then I respond, and then as a karta, as an actor, my action is gonna be compromised as well, because I'm passing over the disturbance of my receiver to my doer, right? So these are all indicators of my level of spiritual development, because the spiritual development has to be fructify now, or be translated by our ability to deal with adversity. So if there is a problem, small village, and then you have the peace. You remember when we talk about vasanas and the problem with sattvic vasanas or sattvic desires or sattvic actions, because the person who lives a sattvic life, it gets attached to sattva, gets stuck in sattva, and then the moment that there is a party next door, came the season, and my little town is invaded by all these hungry tourists and noisy tourists, and then my sattvic environment is gone. And because I have established my peace based on dependable on the sattvic environment, and then my peace is gone, and I have no resistance, I have no immunity against a different virus or a different, in this case, environment, you know. So this knowledge, it has to produce, you know, this ability to, as a receiver, as a bhakta, as an enjoyer, to receive a unfavorable circumstance, you know, with equanimity, with elegance, you know, with gratitude, without kicking and screaming and kicking a door or we don't go to the stream and kicking the cat or the dog, because I know that would offend Vidya. Some people do it, huh?
Well, I guess they do.
Yeah.
So all of these are different ways we can see where we are at, you know? And this goes to all of us.
Yeah.
You know, there is no end for spiritual freedom or spiritual development, or to strengthening, empowering the mind to live in a life, in an environment that throws at us again and again problems and crises and adversities, and still you remain your shanti, your peace of mind. This is something that is the goal to every human being, and there is no such a thing as 100%, moksha or 100% spiritual development.
How do you know when you're stuck in sattva? I mean, I'm just thinking, I obviously have a very good situation where I'm not really experiencing much adversity in my life. Everything is very peaceful. So I don't get this experience. Sometimes I think I'm not being tested. It's just that everything seems very shanty all the time,
That's good. I mean, you enjoy some punya. I mean, punya is good as well. And then sooner or later, punya turns into papa, and then you're gonna be tested.
Mm-hmm.
Test comes anytime. I mean, a moment. I don't believe you don't experience adversity, because unless you tell me that for the past 12 months you never got sick, you never got ill. Okay. So if you get ill, it's a sort of adversity already,
Mm-hmm.
And, in business, there are bad news that sometimes comes. Oh, somebody cancels. Yeah. Then you can measure the degree.
I mean, small things, yeah. But I was just thinking, like, I don't, those things really don't bother me that much. Small things, but yeah, I mean, I just haven't. I just was thinking about the stuck in sattva. How can you tell the difference, if you're stuck in sattva, or if you actually really are experiencing, I mean, I do feel like I'm experiencing a certain amount of equanimity towards whatever happens, but it is when you're in a situation where you don't really have a lot of conflict around you or whatever, it's not always easy to tell. Do you know what I mean?
Well, people who are stuck in sattva are usually not flexible people. They want to be in a sattvic environment. You, in your case, you could say more like, I'm stuck in punya, because you have a great life, But people, when we refer about stuck in sattva, people have a value for silence and peace of mind. The peace of mind is associated with no interaction with people, and they want to seclude from life and create an environment, live doing meditation. I have met many people like that, including some gurus. So those are the people that they don't like much to go into the world and interact. I know friends who escaped life, under the title or under the vest of a spiritual seeker, and they live quietly in some of these mountains or hills somewhere in the northern of India, but not really accomplished in the world, and neither spiritually, but they attach to the peace, the peaceful environment, that they develop there. So, which does not seem to be far from being your case. You live in a very dynamic environment. You experience this inner peace and satisfaction because your life is good. So you have Ishwara throwing a lot of punya to you. And this punya is not coming for free, I mean, as we know, grace needs to be earned. So this is the result of a lot of effort that you made. You put a lot of effort in that direction, and not only spiritually, but materially. So you are enjoying your organization and your life and so on. And so only you can really understand which are the objects you are attached to, So an experience is an object, silence is an object, my Surya Lila is an object, everything. So to what degree I'm attached to things? And it's not a big deal to be attached to things. You know, if you know that you attach to things, it's already like, okay, my jiva is attached to thing. I'm the knower of a certain attachment that does not affect me. One can see from that deeper perspective, you know, because certain attachments difficult to eradicate from the life of the jiva. Ultimately, freedom is to be free from all attachments, you know, and which is the most profound, the most common attachment that we all have to our physical body. So we are attached to our physical body. So if you want to imagine how free you are, just say, okay, if I get diagnosed that I have a terminal disease and I have 3 months to live, for example. Yeah? So this is one of the biggest tests, but it comes slowly because old age, you know, builds in, sinks in, slowly we start putting up with a pain here, a problem there, limitation. Yeah? And then by and by, we understand that, you know, the body is going to go, and hopefully we are wise enough to let it go with grace and with thankfulness and so on. This is the ultimate adversity for the jiva.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I really experience that as the greatest vasana is attachment to the body and wanting to hold on to life. It is in the yogic teachings, you know, this, they say that one of the biggest obstacles is clinging onto bodily life.
Yeah.
But I recognize that one, and I think that's a really big one. And yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, I haven't had that tested, so I don't really know, you know, so I'm touch wood, I don't really want to have it tested. But sooner or later it will be.
Yeah.
But I even find that, you know, growing old as a woman in particular, I don't know if men experience it in the same way, but if you're losing your youth, your beauty or whatever, and just that feeling of actually, you know, not being happy about that, you know, like wanting to hold on to that.
Yeah.
And
I feel happy about that. Huh?
What's that?
You said, and you don't feel happy about it.
No, every time I see a new wrinkle, I'm upset about it. And I feel like this is, anyway, but yeah.
If you have enough money, you can fix it, you know, a little.
Yeah, but I don't think that that doesn't look so good either.
Like Berlusconi here in Italy. Yeah, I mean, it takes great maturity to go through old age and with gratitude, with grace, you know, with thankfulness, and then being able to handle the body back to Ishwara and say thank you for this vest. So it has served its purpose. I'm older, full of wrinkles, gray hairs, no hairs, but I'm wiser and I have this inner peace and so on. It was a life well lived, you know. So hopefully we'll all get there with certain wisdom, because only this wisdom can offset the adversities of old age and this and that, you know. Yeah. Only self-knowledge is get of this problem.
Yeah, until the moment comes of death, we don't really know how we're going to handle it. But saying that, when I was young in my 20s, I had a near-death experience where I actually physically died and left the body. And at that moment, there was still awareness. I was very aware of the awareness. And I was aware that I no longer wanted to return to the body. However, Ishvara had other plans, or karma had other plans, and I was sucked back into the body, almost like a reverse being born process. And here I am. But at that moment of time, I was very happy not to come back.
How old were you?
But at that time, I was 25.
25. So you were an adult already.
Yes.
You had this understanding that you were awareness, or you had the understanding that you were the spirit or the mind. But there is a distinction there.
I was aware that I existed without the body. I was completely aware of that, because I was aware of the body lying down there on the bed, and I being absolutely free of the body, looking down on the body.
Yeah. Which is a fact. The mind is free of the body. The mind needs the body to become a jiva, a doer and a receiver, an experienced entity. The mind needs the body, but the mind is free of the body. The mind is subtler. It cows the body, it pervades the body and animates the body. So when the mind leaves the body, in the case of such experience, often the person has experienced that I am something other than the mind. But almost invariably, the people understand I am something other than the body. Sorry, he said, I'm something other than the body, but they don't understand. Sometimes they think I am maybe the spirit, I am the mind, I am, but they don't understand that they are neither they are not even the mind. There is something, subtler beyond itself. You understand what I mean? I met several people who have this experience, but nobody was clear about the fact that the mind was free from the body, but there was something else that was free from the mind.
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, I see that now almost daily in my yoga practice, where I'm aware of the mind, I'm aware of the body, and I'm aware that I'm neither of those aspects of this jiva. Yeah, probably at the time, I can't remember so clearly at the time of that near-death experience, but you're probably right. I was probably still associating through the mind. Yeah. I can't remember, to be honest.
Human beings have to do something, right? One has got to do something. Nobody lives, unless you become a yogi. You're gonna do something. One has to do something. So why not to do? One has to talk something, right? One has to listen to something. Why not to do this beautiful work, and to live this life in association with this knowledge? So I'm saying that in respect to we could be here having all sorts of conversations. We could be talking about business. We could be talking about the weather, about cats and dogs, about agriculture, or about the movies that we watch. But we choose to take some time to associate to the scriptures. And why not? Since one has got to do something. This going back to the original thing, there's nothing I need to do. But yet, since I cannot live without doing something, because it's in the nature of the jiva is doing. So to do that which frees me from this misidentification, and resolves the problem of human suffering.
Yeah, it seems to me like it's the only worthwhile thing really to do.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah. You listen to
Of course, there's the worthwhile things to.
Say it again.
Sorry, continue. Of course, there's the things we have to take care of in the world, and you know, doing our
Of
part
course, yeah,
for the goodness of the world. But really, it does seem the only sensible way to spend life, to spend our time doing this.
yeah,
To me, I've got to that point in my life where it's the only sensible thing to do, really.
yeah, yeah.
The only thing which is going to solve all the problems.
Yeah, we are mumukshus. So we want moksha, we want freedom from samsara, from mitya, and yet living in mitya. So I was remembering that the price of self knowledge or freedom is constant vigilance or a constant association to the scriptures. Often when he mentions that is now 50 years and he spent most of his times, even if sometimes one gets a little bit tired because we get bored about doing the same thing over and over again. You as a jiva, no? But although he says that it's if you want to be free, you need to maintain this association with self-knowledge, you know, because the whole world is designed in such a way by Maya that everything is going to be reinforcing the idea that you are a person. Every interaction you have with the field is going to be giving you the signal, you are a person, you are a person. What is your date of birth? So we need to fill up a form. In any kind of situation, there will be constant reinforcement of ignorance. That is the nature of Maya, samsara, is all pervasive ignorance. Everybody's under this universal, living under this universal ignorance. So the only thing that can offset that is our constant association with the knowledge that Ishvara revealed to us. You see, it's such a blessing to be able to be given this opportunity to share whatsoever knowledge I have about the scriptures. Why? Because it keeps me associated to the scriptures much more than before.
Yeah.
Because when you're a student of Vedanta, you study until you understand who you are, and then you somehow you lose the motivation to keep going back to the scripture. Because what for? A little bit is okay. I see my guru sometime, I listen to my guru, but you are not anymore like attached or associated to the scripture as you are as a student at the beginning. At least in my case, when I discovered Vedanta, I was all over everything that Ramji had to say. And then later on, Ananda and so on. So then to have this beautiful gift from Ishwara, like Ramji had, of becoming someone who spreads the words, you know, it's a gift because it somehow it puts us in constant association with the scriptures. I'm all the time having to talk to people, answer people, and all the time trying to help people, and then preparing my talks in Portuguese and then in English, and then my travels, preparing the text and reading in Brazil all the time, helping, editing, and revise all the translations of the books of Ramji. So I'm thanks God that there is soccer, because it takes me off of Vedanta sometimes, and then I enjoy something that I like as well, which is to watch soccer games. Okay, but it's a huge blessing to be able, because you know, you see these people that somehow they they think I understood, I am the self, and so on, and then I'm good to go, and I lose the interest in the knowledge, in the scriptures, in the guru, in the teaching, and everything, and I go my way. It's a potential for trouble. It's a potential for trouble.
Yeah.
Because ignorance is so sneaky, you know, it's so tricky. It's so easy that the ego starts just, you know, inflating without the person even noticing. He starts just, you know, taking certain vanity or certain pride or certain self-importance or I am wise, I am this, I am that. If we are not in contact with constant contact with the scripture, so this is our sadhana. It's association to the scriptures, association to Ishvara, God, and association to the Guru. This is the only thing for us, mumukshudus, yeah? So we absolutely moksha, absolute freedom. So that's the price. And that's what Ranji means to say when you say the price of self-knowledge is constant association, constant vigilance, constant, sadhana. But it's not that we need to do something to produce that which we already am. We don't need to do something, but we need to keep this knowledge fresh in our minds over and over again. Even when it's hard and fast, it's the best thing for maintaining that knowledge hard and fast is continually submitting the mind to the Lord, or continue relate devotionally to the Lord, and maintaining the contact with the Guru. So it is the price of self-knowledge. Some people think that once I get it, and then I'm over with Vedanta, and then I go traveling around the world, I can do all kinds of stupid things because I know who I am. In any case, you go around, you start doing things when you least expect, when you see there is some ignorance taking over your life, and then you realize you begin suffering again. Ranji has told us several stories about that. People he met, they were free, and then over time, when they see, they again get in trouble for any small adversity. Oh, my wife left me, or something else happened, and so on. I have a friend in Brazil who understood who he was a few years back. And then the first impulse he had was like, wow, I'm no longer seeking. I'm no longer searching to know who I am, because now I understand. And I said, yes, that is one of the byproducts, the palam, the result of this knowledge, that the seeking stops. That was the first thing. And then he stopped being in contact with me, but sometimes he would say something, or I would ask how he was doing. He started living as a very happy person, doing his work there in São Paulo. He has a good position, state job, as a taxman, a federal taxman, going through the companies. And he said that everything remained the same, but he was living his life out of joy. He's just enjoying. And he went back to start enjoying association with family and relatives in a state in the south of Brazil, there in Paraná, farther south. So he said, oh, now I'm enjoying family, I'm enjoying all this thing, and I'm going back to the stadium to watch the football match with my relatives in the south. So I'm flying there to Paraná every weekend almost. And he started living like a samsari, because now I'm a happy samsari. So I understood who I am and so on. He had all his books, the new books he bought. He told me, so, I cannot even open a book anymore. I just, it makes no sense. I just want to live my life and enjoy my life. And it's okay. It's a fair deal. And I haven't heard any more from the guy. But I heard a few things that he's tied up with a new house that he bought, and he's putting together. He broke up from his girlfriend. So I don't know exactly how he's doing, but I expect anytime I could hear something, you never know, that he may get in trouble again. Mm-hmm. Because the moment that you let go of this association with, he used to go all the time to the seminars of Ramji in Europe. He stopped going. Okay. So he stopped going to my seminars in Brazil and my webinars, and it's a risk.
Yeah. It seems really important that you need to associate with people that have this knowledge and understanding, really. I mean, I feel it's interesting what you're saying about that guy, because I have a bit of the opposite effect happening to me, which is I don't really feel like hanging out with people. You know what I mean? Or anyway, too much. I'm feeling less and less social. I don't know. Sometimes it worries me because I just don't really feel like sitting around or going out and doing something. And it's not like I just don't enjoy it so much. And I enjoy being on my own a lot more.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I'm feeling more and more like that. And yeah, but at the same time, it also feels important to me. I really enjoy being around people who actually have this knowledge, you know, like I just feel there's a lot more, you know, I have, it's interesting because it's not like I have to be talking about Vedanta, but it does make a difference to me when people have an understanding of this, you know, and I kind of feel the need for the company of those people.
Totally. It's understandable. It's the meaning of Sangha, you know. And we have heard Ramji using the expression of becoming a Vedanta fanatic, a Vedanta obsessive, you know.
Yeah.
It's so it's it's what it takes, you know, to really go for this total moksha, freedom, you know, which are the fruits of this self-knowledge. This friend of mine, going back to this case, to this thing, he was in the beginning, he was doing his work, but he was a bit lonely, and he was separate from his wife, and he was really longing to have intimacy and love and so on. But he was not attracting anybody because he was not happy. And once he understood who he was, he became joyful. And then he told me that a lot of women start being attracted to him. And then he started, for example, it's an opposite movement. We have to understand that he is at least maybe 15 years younger than me and you, Vidya. 15, not a little bit, 15 or 20. And so he went back to enjoy those things that he was lacking in his life. He started having lovers and lovers and lovers, and whatsoever was lacking, and there was some vasana still. And I told him, so go for it. These vasanas are still there. You have those desires to fulfill in the world. I'll do it as an enjoyer, you know, do it out of joy, you know, and so on. And sooner or later, these vasanas, they fade. And then you understand that there is nothing more joyful than your own simple, ordinary existence and peaceful existence. You know? There's nothing more joyful than that. So, as I said, I don't know where his story is, the point at this moment, you know. But sometimes you see, people may get completely turned on from sense pleasures, you know, sensual pleasures and so on, and the joys of life, and going here and enjoy samsara, enjoy your family members. It's okay, go and enjoy, you know, knock yourself out. But then there comes a point that one say, okay, I have had it, you know, now I go back to the Lord, go back to the knowledge, the scriptures, and so on. So that is the idea of eternal vigilance, eternal sadhana, eternal association.
Yeah.
You see all these swamis, they have this huge knowledge. I mean, not all swamis, but these swamis that are really great Mahatmas that propagate this knowledge, like Dayananda, Paramarthananda, among many others. So their lives are nothing but, you know, association with Ishvara and the scriptures and their gurus, of course. It's nothing but that. And they enjoy the fruits of that. I met Swami, not personally, but somebody gave me the videos of this Swami. This Swami, he was a stock market broker in New York Exchange. Just imagine, he was so successful. A young Indian man with very, very sharp and intelligent. And he was a broker there, and he was very rich. And then at certain time in his 40s, early 40s or mid or late 30s or something like that, he felt like all of this is meaningless. And he was born in India. And he went and take a vow on sannyasi in a Dayananda ashram. And he went through the whole process of education. He gave up everything. He gave away all his possession, all his name, all his fame, all his properties, all his money. When you take a vow of sannyas, you give away everything. And then you take a new name. It represents a new life. This life is dedicated to knowledge and nothing else, self-knowledge. And it's interesting because this recordings I have, if I have the opportunity to come to your place, I will show you, and then you can copy it on your. And it's nice because it was his first teachings in the Sampradaya, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I'm very excited and happy because this is my first opportunity to teach. And he has this background. Some people they have all this success early, and then they walk away from all this pleasure of life, you know, everything. You know. Try to understand where there is noise.
Yeah.
Okay, it was Mark. I muted you, Mark. Anytime you want to talk, you unmuted. Okay.
He's muted now.
Okay, no, I'm sorry, I was muted myself, so I'm not sure if it was me you were hearing actually, Arlinda, because we were muted here.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll find out.
But maybe. Yeah, no, I'm in the kitchen processing.
Yeah, whatsoever noise we have was coming from Mark's background. Okay. Any other contribution?
Mark speaking, but it's muted.
Could you hear me, Vidya?
No.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, now I can.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking about karma, and with regards to your friend in Brazil, or with regards to any of us really, how much of it is actually karma that we continue or we give up? Do you see what I mean? If we
Yeah.
continue studying the scriptures every day, or we become demotivated, is this down to our karma? Or I guess it
Yeah.
is. Everything's down to karma in the end.
Of course, yeah.
Can you explain a little bit? Do you understand what I'm trying to
Yeah,
ask?
yeah. So everything is karma. So whatsoever unfinished, I mean, desires or business that needs still to be unfolded, needs to be expressed, you know, they are going to be pressing, you know, as a desire. So if you have a desire and if you know who you are, yes, this desire is not going to be harming others in the environment because you're going to act out your desire in a dharmic way, okay? Probably.
Yeah.
But it's a desire. It's part of your karma. It's some certain energy, certain business that still needs expression, certain desires that needs to be, you know, lived because you don't want to keep it suppressed, especially after you know that you're not your desire, you're not your vasanas and so on. But the vasanas are going to be there, pressing one's mind to go and do certain actions to satisfy those desires. You know? It's all karma. So some people, they come to this self-knowledge and this combination of self-knowledge may be coincident with a total disinterest in the world of objects of experience, whatsoever subtle or physical dense material, you know. Some people, they may be totally done. Some people, they get their self-knowledge and then later on they have to put up with their karma. You probably heard it from Ramji as well. So you either, you know, work out your karma before, do your karma yoga before, you know, exhaust your karma, exhaust your vasanas, you know, let them be exhausted in a positive and constructive way, you know, that elevates you. You go work through your karma until it's exhausted, or you don't. If you have a self-knowledge, but you still have karma to be worked out, you better work it. And that's where it's important that you work as a karma yogi. Because as a karma yogi, there's no way you're going to get yourself into trouble. As a karma yogi, you're going to follow the rules. You're going to keep your spirit of contribution and gratitude. You're not going to hurt anybody. You're not going to take. You're going to be taking and giving, probably giving more than taking, and so on. So you became a karma yogi. But you see people like in the environment of Osho. I have some friends who somehow they believe that they understood that they are consciousness. Nobody really knows. I have especially two guys in Brazil that they're very famous. They have big crowds, and they take advantage because they have these huge pictures of Osho Rajneesh. Osho Rajneesh has a very strong marketing appeal, and then they attract these huge crowds, and they take advantage. You know, when you see they buy land, they have an ashram with all the land of all the people money, and it's very expensive to go to his retreats. You know, where there is almost nothing there except the blah 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 things like that. And when you I get to know. By the way, this friend of mine I was talking before, he came from this guy, and then through him I understood that this guy he has this huge sexual vasana, which is not a surprise. A surprise, consider that he comes from Osho. His huge sexual vasana, and he makes love with all beautiful devotees in his ashram. You know, he has all these lovers that he keeps recycling them, changing them. So this is the problem. Okay, so you may have got I am consciousness, but you don't understand what is karma and you don't understand what is dharma, you have never studied the scriptures on dharma and karma. So you never purified your mind as a karma yogi, and then you are set up for trouble. You know, I mean you. And then when you see you're caught up in taking people's money and putting yourself on a pedestal and developing these big structures and developing spiritual vanity and so on. So it's all karma. So it's better we do our karma yoga. The sooner the better.
Yeah.
If we haven't done it enough, we have to come back and do it after self-realization, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I've been playing. Karma Yoga's been playing a large part in my life this year. Really, I've really emphasised almost more on the Karma Yoga than the knowledge, even though they both run parallel. They're both the same thing in the end. And I realised that the more Karma Yoga I do, the more I give everything to God with no expectation of results, and just being happy with whatever happens, the more is given to me. And it's almost like Ishvara is saying, right, okay, so now we're gonna give you something more to handle. Yeah, I guess it's just getting through my karma more quickly.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, karma yoga is the way of life. You know, there is nothing better than living as a doer, to live a life as a karma yogi, you know, as a knower. So you are free. But yet, if you have karma to unfolding, you know, if you're constantly having to do things, responding to the fields, you know, or you're not a sannyasi, for example, so you need to take the lifestyle as a karma yogi and live under that understanding.
Yeah.
The spirit, you know, of following the natural laws of Ishvara and following Dharma and so on. Keeping your mind on the Dharma Shastras again and again.
Mm.
So it seems we lost.
Oh. My connection went down just then.
I see. Vidya?
Yeah, I think the Wi-Fi went down. I just
Yeah.
connected with my phone.
So we are talking about karma yoga and the importance of if as long as we have karma, if we have a life conditioned by a lot of activities, karmas to be done, you know. So it's very important that we take the spirit attitude as a karma yogi and do whatsoever we have to do under the light of the Dharma Shastras, the scriptures on Dharma, Gita, and so on. So some people they exhaust some karmas and then they end up with very little karma. I have a young guy in Brazil that is really again and again coming back with this problem, his question. He has this huge interest in self-knowledge. He's very young, 24, 25, but he's also a little bit, I say, spiritually It escapes sometimes the words. It's not aggressive, it's ambitious. It has some ambition,
Okay.
ambition to learn, to be self-realized and to teach and so on. So, and he just come back to me and say, no, I need to do karma yoga, but I have a problem here. I don't have enough karma in my because all he does is to go to the college. He lives with his mother yet and come back to the house and then goes to and he does not do anything. I say, so I mean anything you do. Even when you go to the school and then you're gonna breathe in and breathe out, breathe in, so be a karma yoga. So give thanks to the Lord for breathing in, breathing out. Every step, you know, that you do, it's not that we need to be busy like crazy. Any opportunity that we are when you have shower. So just know that you are just watching Ishwara, you're cleaning your body and your mind, your energies, and the same way people they dip into the Ganges and so on. So everything we do can be as little as anything, like eating or preparing your food. So, but if one does not have any karma, hardly no karma, and then the best thing is just to start the scripture association with the scriptures. Otherwise, you go around like this boy asking others to give him more karma. Let me clean up your house today. I don't have enough karma. I need to exercise my karma yoga. It's a dangerous game, like Ramji says. But in the case of this boy, it's not that he wants to do it for the others. He wants to do for himself because he wants to purify his mind through the karma yoga attitude. So he does it for himself.
You can send him over to me, Arlinda.
Yeah, that's true, huh? Okay, any more contributions? It's good we had this nice Vedanta chat. That way we did not go into the scripture. I can read it and prepare it for next week. Most probably it's going to take us another two classes to finish the Tattva Bodha, 2 or 3 classes. And it would be nice to do it before I travel because I'll be going to Colorado, to the USA in October the 9th.
Are you going to teach?
Yeah, in Carbondale with Eden. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm going there also because I have a few things that I want to do there, including to sell my van that is sitting there already since over 4 years. Sometimes I drive it a little bit, so I'm going to get rid of it. Like Ranji went there and got rid. I mean, I have been keeping it because it's always handy and it has a very small value because by now it's 11 or 12 years old.
Right.
So, but there's no point. I'm gonna finish a few things there and rest there near Seattle for adjusting to the the jet lag, the time zone. And then I go to Carbondale and then back to Seattle and back here. It's going to be 3 weeks altogether. And I don't know if I want to go back there for that kind of trip again because it's a very long trip
Yeah.
just to do 6 days talks on Vedanta
Yeah.
for a small group. I'm enjoying this possibility of I'm having these meetings with you guys as well in English because it helps me to practice my English because now it's over 4 years that I left the USA. My English is getting a little rusty, and if I practice, and then it's going to get even rustier. So. And it seems I go to, it seems now, I mean, there is a good potential I go to India. These friends from Amsterdam, they made a web page all about this event in India. And they are positive that they are going to get at least 10 people to cover all my expense.
Mm.
And
It sounds really nice.
huh?
It sounds like it's really nice there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. Yeah. I will send an email to you guys. You can see the website he made has more pictures, and the environment there is very clean. And the beach you can swim. It's a health kind of health center, Ayurvedic health center.
Yeah, it sounds really good. I have to teach a course at that time. I would love to go.
Yeah, you told me.
I have to do a course at Surya Leela, otherwise nobody else will come, you know.
Mm.
I'm the only person that will teach a course there at the beginning of January.
I see. Mm.
That's a bit of a commitment, which I'd rather not have, but because I would love to come, but I'd have to do my duty.
Right. And Mark, and I'm gonna send it to you anytime if you change your mind or if you decide to come, you let me know.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a strong possibility, Arlindo. Like I said to you, I'm great at last minute decisions. So
Good.
even in December, don't count me out. I might still come.
Okay.
And I definitely like to take a nice holiday during that period of time, January, February time. So India's still on the cards. So yes, if that's the case, and the place does look like a paradise.
Yeah, it is very nice. Yeah, and the flight it's as easy to get there and as inexpensive as it is to get to Chennai. The only thing is you fly to Chennai, you fly to Bangalore. You buy a ticket to Bangalore, and then from Bangalore to Mumbai, there are round trips from those Indian companies doing inland flights. It costs about $100 a round trip from Bangalore to Mangalore round trip. One can do it by train as well, but I don't know how much that would cost. It's about 300 kilometers. 300 kilometers is a very far distance when it comes to India overland,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, a few days travel.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're going, Arlindo. I'm glad you've kind of have you confirmed that now?
It's more or less. The only thing is that we are not. I'm finally help these people understand that we cannot put it on the website of Shine World because it's not a seminar. It is a proposition of a seminar, but they are sure that they are going to sell it, and they are going to confirm it by the end of October at the most, and they are positive that they are going to send people at least. There is already 3 or 4.
Okay, yeah.
It should not be a problem.
Mm.
Mm.
Good. Okay, great. Great. Yeah. Yeah. You might possibly or realistically see me there. So nice.
That would be nice. Yeah. Okie dokie, my friends.
Okay, thank you so much.
Chat with you.
Nice.
Om Purnamada
Okay.
Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay. Thank you
Thanks, Arlindo.
for the nice chat.
Thank you, Arlindo.
Yeah. Ah, Trudy,
Okay.
you're still
Goodbye,
there.
Vidya.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.